style. As I'm sure you're aware, Leonard Nimoy, the actor who played Spock in the original Star Trek series, has passed away. And across all my social media and a lot of my friends have made tribute to him, and I've seen lots of... And there's really nothing that I can add to all of this stuff. But what I did want to do is do a slight tangent. So I wanted to use this opportunity because, and this is not really related to Leonard Nimoy, to talk a little bit about how apologists and bad philosophers in general, of which there are many, kind of have this naive view of the mind versus the brain. And part of this naive view is this idea of a sort of basically a perfect mind and an imperfect body. So that when something goes wrong, when you are physically injured, that it is the body that is damaged, but not the mind, that we have some kind of... our mental faculties are somehow divorced from our body. This is a fairly typical dualist view that a lot of people hold without really thinking. And I'm not going to prove that dualism is false in this video, but I do want to add something to the dialogue a little bit. And I wanted to do this by actually doing a little bit of a demonstration. And I hope you'll join with me so that you can experience this too. It'll kind of demonstrate how when we are incapable of getting our body to do the things that we want it to do, it isn't generally just a case of a perfect mind trapped inside an imperfect body, but rather it seems that the mind is just as imperfect as the body. And to me, as a reductive materialist, this would suggest that perhaps the mind and the body really are the same thing. To others, they might draw different conclusions. So what am I going on about, and what's this got to do with Leonard Nimoy? Well, really, the only thing it's got to do with it is the Vulcan Salute. So I'm sure you're all aware, this was the symbol that Spock made, and Vulcans did in general, and they said live long and prosper. And the Vulcan Salute is simply a thumb and then your four fingers in two pairs like that. So if you will join in me in doing the Vulcan Salute. Now some people struggle a little bit to get their fingers into this arrangement. I can do it, without thinking. Some people might need to use their other hand to help out. What's this got to do with the mind-body thing? Well, let's ramp up the difficulty slightly, because what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves to the point where, hopefully, our brains are struggling to make the body do what it wants. So let's go, I'm right-handed, this is my dominant hand, the one I find easy. Let's go with our non-dominant hand now. So there's a Vulcan Salute there. So, shake it out. Vulcan Salute. Give that a try. See how easy that is. You might need to struggle a little bit. And as you'll see, they are symmetrical. The actual salute itself, they are mirrors of each other, because the actual salute itself is asymmetrical. And it occurred to me that because it's asymmetrical, because you've got one finger sticking out one side, that you should be able to do a mirror image Vulcan Salute, like that. It doesn't look as good, which is probably, but two fingers, and one stuck out the side. So give that one a go. You might need to help your hand a little bit. And once you've got that one, so there's the normal one, and there's the inverse Vulcan Salute. Let's try the inverse on the other hand. So I kind of have to look at it because I find it a little bit more difficult. There you go. Inverse on the other hand. Hopefully you're still with me. Some of you probably struggling by now. I've had a bit of practice doing this. I thought of this years ago, so it's not too hard for me, but there you go. So once you've got at this point, the next trick is to go from dominant hand, from the inverse to the normal salute, as you might have seen me do. There you go. Give that one a try. By this point, anybody who hasn't practiced these things, and I guess maybe if you play piano or something like that, it might help, but most people are struggling at this point to be able to switch comfortably between the two. I've had, as I say, a fair bit of practice. At this point, your brain probably is struggling to tell your body what to do. And it's not a case that the brain has a clear idea of sending the signals and the body is just misinterpreting them. It's that the brain doesn't even know, or the mind doesn't even know what signals to send in order to get the body to do what it wants. It's like there's a whole pile of levers there that the brain is pulling and it doesn't know which one it needs. At this point, it should be clear to most people that the mind is not this perfect kind of like pilot of a imperfect bodily machine, but rather the pilot itself is flawed in some ways. Not necessarily flawed, but limited. So let's try with the other hand then. So Vulcan Salute and inverse Vulcan Salute. There you go. And inverse, and back to Vulcan Salute. If you can do that, you're doing well. Now, so switch between them, and switch between them, and switch between them. So it's fairly tricky for most people who haven't practiced. The next thing that occurred to me was that why am I doing these mirror images? Wouldn't it be better if they were actually, let's see, if we start off inverse and normal. So there you can see we've got the fingers sticking out on the sides. And then we can switch them. There we go. See, we're right about on the edge of what I can comfortably do. So there we go. Takes a bit of attention. See, I've got to look at one and then the other. Time was when I was particularly good at this, I could do this without thinking, but I haven't been practicing because it's a pretty useless skill. So there you go. If you can flick between these, you're doing well, but most people can't. And the point is that this reveals the limits of our brain, our mind's ability to command the brain now and the body, as it were. And if you practice, what you will actually do is you will lay down new neural pathways. And in fact, this seems to me to be not necessarily convincing evidence, but it does seem to hint at the idea that the mind is not some disembodied, perfect, rational thing that is stuck within an imperfect body, but rather that our mind is our body and is just as limited as the rest of us. Anyway, there you go. My little demonstration for you in light of Leonard Nimoy's passing. And to all of you, I would say, live long and prosper. See ya.